Hello, it's Beauty by Haley Garber, the girl behind the crimper, and we're going to do this really light and airy up style today. And this is a lot of information in this video. So we're going to start off 3 sections, clip out the front 2, headband sectioning, and then take a really thin section in the back, like paper thin, right? You're going to see here in a second. Clip this out of the way, the top, and that's a thin section, right? So you can still see my hand through it, all that good stuff. You're gonna take your crimper. Sadly, this crimper is old, no longer made. And you're going to just use a very light, fast squeezing motion working down the hair. So I'm not giving a huge indent, and you can see it right here. That is what you want to see, those very light ridges. When you're going to go all the way up the back of the head. When you get here around the hairline, look at where the hairline begins to go back around the crown area. Once you get there, begin to crimp straight up. This is creating a weightless volume, and you'll see at the very end when I get done with this section why I do this, because it's naturally going to have all this lift because I'm directing the hair up and out and heat styling it. So see that lift? Whole section's back. It's naturally going to pick up. Awesome. That's what we wanted. And then you're going to work up the sides of the head. You're going to just do the same exact thing. I like to direct mine back and give it a little bit bend at the very end. I do have linked below other crimpers that I like, and that way you can get your hands on one because you want one. Also, if you want to see a video of me getting really in depth with a crimp prep and why I love it and why I do it, just let me know. I would love to share that with you guys. So her whole head is now crimped, and I had parted her over to the side, and look at how shiny it is. You guys want a crimp video now, don't you? Because you don't have those deep indentations of the crimp. It's just nice and shiny and smooth and voluminous and all those good things. Alright, so let's get into the style itself. I'm using all Schwarzkopf USA products. This is Powder Cloud. I'm going in and I'm taking pretty large sections and just misting it through, and I worked it through her hair. Another video, if you guys want it, again, let me know. I can get really in depth on how I backcomb and why. I know that this cuts off the top of the backcombing a little bit, but clean up your sections, make sure you don't have any added hair, and you're going to do the whole top of the head with this. And then when you bring it down, look how smooth it is already. That's what we want to see. We want to work smarter, not harder. But then we're going to break into it a teensy bit, and we're going to section off at the very top of the head, this thin section. And we're going to clip it out of the way, and it's just going to be clipped to itself. It's not clipped to any other hair, and that's just going to hang out. And at the end, when I come back and say, hey, here's this piece that we're doing, that's the piece that I'm talking about. So now we're going to zigzag section out the headband. I love my headband sectioning. Clip that out of the way. We're using Tame Wild to just add some shine to the hair, help us not stick to it. And we're going to take our first section. That's going to bump up right against the headband section that we just created. And you're going to clean it up, smooth it, twist it towards the face because we are creating a style that is more on the side. And then good tension and pinch and pull. And then pin that in, so work around the twist and then go straight up and in and bob that pin in. And that's super secure now. I'm using a little bit of hairspray here. This is the texture hairspray, and I'm using this to just smooth out those ridges that I just created and make sure they're frizz free. And now I'm going to create a second twist, so we're just going to repeat. Awesome. Now we're going to take, it's not quite at where the headband section would be on the other side, but we're going to go a little bit behind that and really smooth out this section and pin it into place. So we're not pinching and pulling because we're going to meet up where the top of that zigzag section, the headband section would be, and we're going to section that one out, and then we're going to pinch and pull that part on top. We're moving all the hair over to the other side. We want to make sure we don't have that weird bump or bulk. We want for it to look like a good smooth head shape still. So by using tighter tension and smoothing out that piece underneath and then working on top of it, we're eliminating a needed bulk. And then we're going to just finish out our little zigzag section there on the headband on the other side. And I'm using some powder cloud here and backcombing in just because I'm working as I go and then cleaning it up. And I'm going to really comb through past the backcombing, and I'm going to pinch and pull very gently. This is hairline detail, so you do want to pay attention to it. And I'm pinning down low, leaving myself a gap to work in between sections. And I'm just using my comb. Your comb's an extension of your hand to really just continue to create my shape and my design. I'm now backcombing at the nape, and I'm going to clean that up, comb past the back comb, and really, again, hairline. It's very important. This is what people do see, and pin that in that gap that you just left in between those two sections. So I'm going to move my first detail section out of the way, a little bit of powder cloud in that front area, and section out what my face framing detail is going to be. And I'm backcombing in, and I'm going to just clean it up and make sure that it's going to lay how I want for it to lay around the front. This is the less heavy side, so I'm using the metal tip here. We're going to take all of this all in one, twist it back and over, and pinch and pull. Remember, where you pinch and pull, that's where the hair is going to go. I want this to come out a little because I want symmetry, but I'm coming more down with it. Pin it in the back into that twist, and then add a second pin closer to the side of the head. You can hide it, but it creates security. It feels better for your client, and it gives you peace of mind. Spray, work on finishing out the details in those ridges. You do want for them to be seen. And then just make sure that everything's flowing together nicely. So this is my second detail piece. I went ahead and backcombed, and I'm clipping it out of the way. And now I'm just going to repeat what I just did on the less heavy side with the heavy side. And again, I'm going to take this one in an all-in-one after backcombing and cleaning and sectioning out my face framing. I'm going to twist this and come right on top and over and work it in diagonal. And then I'm going to pinch and pull. And do you see how smoothly that hair just reacts to the pinch and pull? It's because of that crimp prep. I'm telling you, it is a game changer. And spray these down, make sure they're smooth, make sure I'm getting that soft definition I want. And now we're taking the very first, if you remember way back, the very first detail section. I worked some more Tame Wild through this, and now I'm separating it into 5 thin pieces. I want very gentle layered detail here. Spraying it down with hairspray, I work that hairspray in, and then I'm going to bring the hair over to where the center of the bun will be, and I'm using a hairpin, the U-shaped hairpins, to just set it in place. And then I'm very gently pinching and pulling to create the detail. Very light, very, very light touches. You can see that hair gently expanding. And I'm building height as I work towards the face because that's where I want the majority of the height to be, but I want for it to be symmetrical. So again, very gentle pulls. Wherever I pinch and pull, that's where it's going to be. And this is your top layer of detail. So just keep that in mind as you continue this. You can add another hairpin if you need to. So we've got the back, and now we're doing the front. Same exact thing. Work Tame Wild through the hair. I'm sectioning this off into 3. These are larger sections, so I have some more hair to manipulate, and I'm working at a diagonal around the face because it lays better as you work those strands back. This is the big area here, and I'm going to spend most of my time on this part. I want for that to swoop down a little bit but still come up. So this is a lot of checking the front, making sure we're good, and then that's what we're left with, is a bunch of hairpins in the back. I'm taking all my baby ends, I rolled them up, put them in a hair tie, did a little half bun, rolled them up, and pinned them out of the way. Now I don't have to worry about any little baby strands poking out. Awesome. Now I'm going to work on the left side of my bun. I'm going to work left to right, and I just rolled that up. Those strands aren't too short and they're not too long. It's kind of a win-win in the middle, so I just roll them up. I'm going to pin those into place, going directly down and in. I'm going to spray those clean, spraying up the strands, and then just work the hairspray in as usual. And I'm going to bring a pin over here. I was feeling a little loose. And then I'm going to pin those little babies, the very ends of the hair, into the elastic that I used just a second ago. These are longer, and here I did the tie on the very end, so it's a little half bun. And because I want to create a shape that comes up and over, I thought about going this way, but it just isn't laying correctly. So when I moved it to the right, to move to the direction of the right, the hair just wanted to lay that way better. So go with it. You know, let the hair tell you where it needs to go. If you try to force hair out of its natural shape, it's just not going to end well. You can manipulate hair, absolutely, but in that situation, it needed to go to the right. Now for this last piece, this is my detail piece. I am doing just a 2-strand twist with the remainder, and I'm really expanding that down to close up that gap and up, just to create a nice smooth shape using what hair I have around. I'm not trying to hide things that aren't directly in my section that's in my hand, because why? That's just creating more work for myself. So I'm going to expand this out, and I'm just going to really get in there. I'm going to pin it, detail it, and keep on going. All right, final touches. We've got it cleaned up. It's good to go. I'm using my Sutra Flat Iron, tapping through, straightening out the ends, creating that nice little face framing swoop and bend that just kind of opens up the face. It adds to the softness of it all. And I'm going to push that hair back up, and I did end up spraying it some more. Little tip, if you backcomb after you curl underneath, it really opens that up and expands it. I just spray it. I hope you guys like this tutorial. Please let me know below. Don't forget to hit subscribe. I upload weekly, and if you try it, tell me, tag me, Beauty by Haley Garber, and I will see you guys next week.